This is Secret Mom Hacks, episode number 97. My name is Krista, and I'm your host. It's December 11th, 2024, and we've talked a lot on this podcast about community. Back on episode 83, I shared about the importance of mom groups, why they improve mental health, and discussed some helpful resources, including my MomCom database, which is the first national database of mom groups across the U.S. You can check it out for mom groups in your area by visiting community.secretmomhacks.com. Two of the incredible groups on that list are Carlsbad Mom Crew and San Diego Mom Crew, both of which were founded by our guest today, Mariela de Santiago. Now, Mariela is another fellow mom podcaster. She hosts the New Mom Talk podcast, where she shares evidence-based, bite-sized episodes covering a variety of topics concerning new moms. Today, we dive into Mariela's journey discussing the importance of building a strong support network as a mom, why community is so essential, and how she's creating spaces for moms to both connect and feel seen. We'll also explore how you, wherever you are, can find your own village, or maybe even start building one yourself. But before we get into that, I just want to say thanks for tuning in, Mama. I started this podcast because babies don't come with instructions. As of this recording, I am chasing around a 6-year-old that no amount of Googling, mom groups, or books were able to prepare me for. There's a lot of stuff people don't talk about when it comes to pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy, postpartum, parenthood, and all that follows. And as someone who was previously terrified of all of the above, I'm here to help you pull back the curtain on all of it. And every now and then, it may get a little messy. We may share a little TMI, but that's why you're here, right? My goal is you'll leave every episode feeling refreshed, inspired, and hopeful, knowing you're not on this mom journey alone. Now, there's a lot of subject matter to cover when it comes to mom life, and we are covering it all. If you're not following this podcast yet, make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. Now, let's jump into this conversation with Mariela de Santiago. Mariela, we connected through an awesome group called the Podcasting Moms Club. We're going to be talking about all about mom communities today. So that is one community we're both a part of, and we're also a part of a handful of other communities, several of which you have going, you've gotten up and running, and I'm really excited to hear more about those today, as I know our listener is too. So Mariela, you have a podcast, which is, like I said, how we initially met, New Mom Talk, and you also have your group, Carlsbad Mom Crew, both of which foster a strong sense of community among moms. So what inspired you to create these platforms, and what impact have they had on your own journey as a mom?
I think for lots of moms, this is probably going to be very relatable. Being a mom inspired me. Seeing a need, seeing that this is what I needed and that I couldn't be the only one that needed it. And so therefore, it was almost like a light bulb that clicked. And I wanted to find a solution for this big lack of connecting the resources and the moms and connecting moms with each other. So out of that came my podcast first as a way to really find the answers to the commonly Googled questions or topics. That's what I kind of needed. I was like, I don't have the time to be searching this when my son is napping. I should be napping. I'm going on 3 hours of sleep in the last 24 hours, right? And then you find information that's conflicting. So I wanted the evidence-based information, and that's where I came up with this idea of, hey, why don't I just bring the experts on, have them answer the questions on this specific topic in about 20 minutes, and then I don't have to do it myself. I have somebody that knows the evidence. So, and then from that came the Carlsbad Mom Crew, which I've just expanded to also have the San Diego Mom Crew and be able to kind of have a variety of different locations essentially be serviced, because, San Diego County is pretty big. And with the San Diego Mom Crew and the Carlsbad Mom Crew, what I do is I essentially have a variety of different events that are planned with a sponsor that sponsors each event. So every single event is kind of catered depending on what the product or service is that the sponsor provides.
And if you go, so for anyone listening, if you were out in Mariela's neck of the woods, of course, I will link to her website and socials and everything in our show notes. So stay tuned for those. But I love looking at your website. I don't even live over there. I'm over here in Middle Tennessee, but you have such an amazing rundown of events for local moms. Like, I want to hop on a plane and come check out some of your events.
Thank you. Yeah, the way that I do events is kind of same thing. This doesn't exist. I wish it existed. I would want this. So I created it.
Now, tell me what you did pre-podcast that you've got this knack for curating events and marketing yourself and getting these sponsors, because you are just crushing it.
Thank you. I was actually a special ed teacher, so not at all related, but I feel like I'm a go getter. I just have an idea. And once I have an idea, I want to make it happen. And I want to make it happen right away. That's kind of where my issue is that I just want things to happen right away. So being patient is difficult. I share that with my son. It's just wanted these things to happen, and I just kind of figured out a way to contact businesses. I have a vision in my head, and I just figure out how to make it happen.
Resourcefulness, something many of us moms just have to thrive on, right? It's being resourceful. Well, new motherhood is isolating for many of us. So how does your work through the podcast and Mom Crew help combat those feelings of isolation? And how do you encourage moms to seek out community support?
Well, whenever you go to a mom event, you end up meeting other moms that are in that same space as you. It can be intimidating. I will say that I was intimidated. I personally feel like the bigger the events, the harder it is to really make a connection. So in my case, I try to keep my events small and intimate so that moms can connect with one another and you don't feel like the one left out. Because I've gone to walks where they're huge and then I end up walking by myself and I feel kind of like the person left out, and it's not fun. Right. So I want to not create that. I want to make sure that that's kind of avoided. And I do that through ensuring that a lot of my events are more small, intimate, that I'm able to greet everyone. Being a teacher helps me kind of recall names. If not, then I definitely can recall faces. So that is also helpful because you want to make those connections, right? I myself have met some of my best friends through some of the other groups. And I think that's a pretty amazing thing because I was one of the first ones out of my friends to get pregnant. And so, being one of the first ones, you are the first to kind of see, like, okay, now you're excluded from things. Now you can't really have conversations about similar topics because you're in a different space. You're exhausted. You are worried about the latest, I don't know, milestone with your little one. So for me, I needed to find other moms that I could connect with, that I could just pick their brains and just get ideas from. And that's doesn't mean it's going to solve whatever concern I had at the moment, but it did give me ideas. Like, oh, that worked for you. Maybe I should try that. For example, with sleep, right? Every mom struggles with sleep during that infant year because you have the regressions, you have the constant waking and feeding, trying to wean them. There's so many different parts to it. And like, you don't know what you don't know. So just having that connection and being able to talk to another mom that says, oh, this worked for me, will just kind of give you that light bulb of like, you know what, that's a great idea. Never thought of it. I'm going to try that. And it might not work for you. And that's totally okay. But at least you can say that you tried it and you move on to the next thing.
And that relatability and not feeling A, like you're on an island, or B, like you're the only one going through it. Because that's the worst feeling. You're like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with us? What is happening? So when you have that group of moms where you can just be yourself, you can share, it's so important.
Yes, exactly. So
Well, so your mom crews, they bring local moms together for events and activities. So can you share some of the most memorable events or initiatives you've hosted and how they've helped to foster those deeper connections among the moms who participate?
So one of the popular events that I had was like an outdoor sensory class. You end up meeting other moms that live near you that you can connect with and have play dates with. Because, like I said, San Diego County is pretty big. So I'll have moms that come from the next city over, two cities over. And so they can't always make every event, but maybe they'll meet another mom that lives pretty close to them and that they can do a play date with on a regular occasion. The sensory classes or any sort of activity that gets kids to do hands on, super popular. Currently, I am in the process of kind of restructuring some of my events. So, the way that I've typically done events is that I've done one single sponsor and it's a single event that might last about an hour. Let's say a beach day, or maybe a walk, or a park picnic, or a sensory class, or maybe a meetup at story time. Those are just one event, one vendor, or one business that sponsors that event. What I'm now also incorporating is what I'm calling mom experiences. And I'm bringing a variety of vendors together to create an experience for moms and at times their little ones. So this is going to look more like there's a fitness portion. So let's say the one that I have coming up, there's a bar workout will be modified to allow you to work out with your little one if they are more in that infant stage. If you have a toddler, it might be a little bit difficult. And then we have the breakfast portion. So there's going to be food, coffee, desserts included, along with a reading specialist that will have like a story time for the little ones that are there, and then allow for some questions from parents regarding reading, supports, anything that they are wanting to know about, supporting your little one with reading and the benefits. And then we are also going to have goodie bags where every mom walks away with a goodie bag, but the goodie bags are all full size products, none of this sample trial size, because let's face it, that just ends up in the landfill and it doesn't turn people into customers. Those are my travel samples, and I never purchase any of those again, right? Yeah, because I want moms to actually experience the product. So let's say that you have a diaper cream. If I try that diaper cream 2, 3 times, that didn't turn me into a customer. But if I have a full tube that I use over the course of a month and I notice it works amazing, guess what? I'm more likely going to buy that product. So that's kind of the goal and the idea behind that. And then I have a bunch of prizes from local or bigger vendors that are wanting to share their product or service with moms, like red light therapy, or like breast milk jewelry, or toothbrush flosser, one of those like water pick flosser things. So it's really like a way for moms to learn about new products, new services that are here in the area that they just otherwise wouldn't know about. Because as a mom, we're so busy. So when I'm planning a birthday, I'm going to go to Google and like search cupcakes, right? I'm not going to know about that small mama owned business other than through events like this, where I go to somewhere and I was introduced to a mom that just opened a cupcake business. I'm going to be more likely to hire her and feel better about it than hire corporate owned cupcake company that's a chain. So with that, the goal is to really have the intimate connection, because these events are smaller, and so it's really a way for moms to meet other moms that are in the same place as them. Kind of like what I mentioned, with the bigger that the events are, the easier it is for moms to say, hey, why don't all my girlfriends come? And then you don't end up going outside of that circle and really meeting other new moms, or welcoming a new mom, first time attending that event. These moms end up meeting one another, end up becoming friends. I end up becoming friends with them too. So it's a beautiful thing. And you just have a ton of friends for your little ones too to grow with.
Which is so key. You're curating a range of activities from fitness to social, which I love that. How do you decide which types of events and activities will best serve the needs and the interests of the moms in your community there?
So typically it might start from, let's say, a sponsor. Let's say there is a new business that does some outdoor type of class. We'll just go with the sensory class, and they want to showcase what they have to offer. So I would create an event for moms to bring their little ones, and then they will do this sensory class for about 30 minutes or so. And that way the moms and the kids can actually experience what the sponsor has to offer. If it's a product, let's say like a shampoo, I'm going to try to cater it so that it kind of fits the theme. Obviously, a shampoo is a little bit difficult to do anything, but maybe we'll go to the park and do like a bubble party, right? Just do a bunch of bubbles and have like snacks, or a picnic and bring your own picnic. I've done things like music classes. Mentioned story time. I've done a picnic where a business that provides a service has come and provided coffee and donuts and goodie bags for the moms that attend, and the kids get to play in the playground, and then the moms can engage with the sponsor and ask questions. So it really varies. I have a beach day coming up because the sponsor is a poncho, which you would use after going swimming, after you're going to the beach, and therefore it's like the perfect fit, right? Like you want to showcase how this product is so perfect for a situation like this.
Just very, very creative. And I love that, yes, your background, it really does help to connect the dots and keep things simple. It's so easy, I think, to overcomplicate some of these things. And so you being a teacher, and I know I admire all of those teachers in my sphere because they're so talented about just keeping things creative and relatable, yet simple and engaging,
Yeah.
because you can't afford to not be creative and engaging when you're in a classroom full of kiddos.
Yeah. For October, I'm in the process of planning something that's very simple but fun and in theme, which is a pumpkin painting party. And all it is pumpkins and paint, and we're going to have an amazing treat there. So it's really just kind of like, what do I want to do? What haven't I done? What would be fun for moms? So there's a lot that kind of goes in my head, I guess, when deciding what I want to do. And then from there, just making it happen.
Well, looking to the future, what are your hopes and goals for both New Mom Talk, your podcast, and Carlsbad Mom Crew? And how do you envision continuing to expand and strengthen these communities that you are cultivating?
I'm hoping that my mom experiences end up being a hit, and that those become more of the events that I'm able to plan. I'm also hoping that other moms in other areas see what I'm doing and maybe want to create a similar scenario or type of event and reach out to me and ask for ways to get started, how I go about doing that, and really being able to share with moms the number of products and services that are out there outside of what we see whenever we go shopping at, like, let's say Target or Amazon. Like, there's so many amazing mom owned, women owned businesses where you live. And for me, I love supporting those, and I want to share those with my followers because, as I said, like, I would just feel so much better supporting another mom business for my son's cupcakes at his birthday party, or like the decorations for his birthday, or the burritos from a new catering business that just opened that's local and small versus the bigger corporate chain stores that maybe they're a little bit cheaper, but what about the quality? And just kind of thinking more about, like, how does supporting a small local business benefit you and your community? The more money you put back into your community, the better it is for everyone involved.
We want to see these other mamas succeed. It's all about the rising tide lifting all ships, right?
Yeah. And then as for my podcast, just seeing the continued growth and getting more, topics, as now my son is 2.5 years old. So more of the topics are obviously going to transition to talk about what toddlers go through, still obviously covering pregnancy and that newly postpartum stage, but being able to provide support for moms as they grow with their little ones, because they're no longer going to, unless they go through it a second time, but you're not going to need to know about the breastfeeding stuff if your son is now 2.5 or 3 years old. You're going to need to know about the school stuff and the behavior stuff and the reading and all of the things, right?
Right. I'm excited to keep listening in to New Mom Talk as you are going through those different milestones in your mom talk journey. And like I said, I will just be wishing that I could hop a plane maybe at some point. I don't have any trips planned at this point to the West Coast, but when I do, I'm going to make sure that I put your area on my itinerary so that I can pop into one of your fun mom events.
Yes.
This is, the beauty of online and virtual groups and everything, connecting through the Podcasting Moms Club. I feel like I have all of these awesome podcasting mama friends, but I've only met just a very small, like less than 5 in real life. So I'm looking to expand that face-to-face opportunity. I hope to make it out to your neck of the woods and check out in person all the great things you're doing.
Well, and I would love to meet you in person. I feel like I know you. I talk to you regularly, but I've never met you in person. So hopefully soon.
Well, Mariela, what did I not ask that you wish I would have?
Oh gosh, I think just how to reach out to me. So if anyone does want to start any sort of mom group, mom community, reach out to me. You can do that through my website, which is newmomtalk.com. You can also reach out to me on my Instagram at Carlsbad Mom Crew or at newmomtalk.podcast. I am always happy to connect with anyone, always happy to answer any questions, always happy to cover a topic that you have not yet seen anyone else cover that you're curious about. Because, yeah, I love supporting moms. I love being in this community, and I think we just do better when we support each other.
Well, that's a wrap for today's conversation with Mariela. You can find links to her social platforms and podcast in today's show notes over at secretmomhacks.com/episode 97. I'm curious what your favorite part of our interview was. I hope you're walking away inspired with tips either for yourself or that new mom you know. If that's the case, please follow me on your favorite podcast platform if you haven't already. Give me a 5-star rating and leave a review sharing your favorite takeaway so far. You can do all of that by going to ratethispodcast.com/secretmomhacks. Don't forget to stop by secretmomhacks.com where you can find resources and enter your email address so every new show is delivered straight to your inbox. Stay tuned for next week's episode, and until then, you've got this, mama.